What's up, guys? Welcome back to STROK'D, the art of mental stimulation, where I touch subjects at depths that most people aren't willing to go. I keep it really raw and honest. I don't hold back. Transparency at its finest. Oh yeah, I like to go there. I like to get real down and dirty and raw, man. I like to touch it at its core. You know, all that uncomfortable stuff we don't really like to talk about? Yeah, that's me. I'm the one. I like to bring it up, man. We have to face it. I have to face it. You know, sometimes these messages resonate with myself. I don't want you to think you're alone. That's the main reason for this podcast. So people will know they're not suffering in silence alone. So we actually need to touch these subjects, you know, give each other a little comfort or whatever. So that's what I'm here for. Orchestrated by God, of course. Whatever message he puts on my heart, I go with it. So yeah, man, thank you guys for riding with me, because you don't have to be here right now. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are new here, you are on the mic with D Love, of course. And you guys already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. It is time to get stroked up. Man, oh man. I know you guys probably already viewed the title for this episode. And I just want to say, on this one, I really just want to take my time. I want to take my time. I want it to really resonate with who or whom it needs to resonate with. You know, this is one of those ones I don't want to speed through. You know, I speak a little fast. I get a little excited. But, you know, I want this one to hit home for whoever it needs to hit home with. You know, even as a collective or whatever, I think this is a big message, a powerful message that, you know, we need to understand. How many of you guys have ever felt pain before? Pain. And I'm not talking about physical pain. I'm speaking of that soul-shattering pain. Like those days where you don't know if you can keep going on. Those days where you feel empty. Those days where the pain is so heavy that, you know, it feels like you can't come out of depression. You know, you can't eat. You can't sleep. You have to figure out who you are again. And I feel like somewhere in life, most of us have felt this kind of pain one way or another. Whether it was with a lost loved one, betrayal. When I said loved one, I meant family loved ones, loved one as far as relationship, romantically, just a lot of different things in business or whatever, this type of pain. And this episode is titled Versatile Pain. And what that means is, you know, pain comes in different forms. Pain comes in different forms. It's different for different people. You know, people process pain in different ways. So I think we should be a little more understanding to each other. Like a lot of times when people are expressing their pains to us, we're processing it in our own way. Like I said, we all have our own movie. We're processing it from where we are at our current state of mind and not that person. You know, we look at the situation, how we would handle it or how long it would take us to get over it or whatever. And we lose sight of what that pain feels like because we're comparing it to our own experience with pain. We think, you know, we don't validate what a person feels. We're just like, oh, that's nothing. Oh, that's nothing at all. Oh, you don't even went through nothing. My situation was this. That's what pain feels like. You can't tell that to that person. You don't know their thought process. Like I said, you don't know their emotional state. You don't know what built up to this. This could have been the last straw. Or, you know, a lot of things built up to it, and this just tipped the bucket. And it was it. And then, you know, they had enough. So, you know, we have to be a little more compassionate when it comes to that. I've seen people tell people how long they should be grieving. I've seen people tell people that you should be over this by now. You know, so you do not compare your pain with other people's pain. If anything, if you're going to be there, sit there and listen, you know, so all the time, you don't have to give your input all the time. You don't have to always give your input. And a lot of times people wonder why, you know, people are ostracized or, you know, you find a person's isolated and they don't want to be around anyone and they just to themselves because of that right there. You know, they feel no one understands their pain because people have tried to convince them that they shouldn't be feeling it or they should have gotten over it or they were stupid for being in it anyway. And for what and why and all this other stuff, questioning them, you know, telling them how they would feel, you know, projecting onto them how you would be or how you would feel a situation. And that's not right. We definitely have to get better at that. And just like if you listen to that episode, Speaking to Narcissists, and while speaking to narcissists, having that heart-to-heart, I use the example of Imagine the time that you felt pain. Just that excruciating pain. When you felt like you were at your lowest moment. And the reason why you are good right now is because of God. I mean, because there was no way out. I mean, you didn't see a light, and the only light you did see peeking through finally was God. And that was the only thing you felt at your lowest point. So, so imagine that's what that person's feeling. The person that you're judging, the person that you're telling them they should move forward, and the person you're asking why, and the person you're telling they're stupid, and the person you're saying, you're still dealing with that, you haven't moved on from that yet. Imagine that pain that you felt, the pain that you felt before. So you're comparing your situation to them. So you're thinking, I went through this. To you, this is nothing, so they shouldn't be feeling that way. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. I'm sure some people probably have taken their life over that, like feeling like they don't have the support of people or no one understands or people judging them. A lot of time in domestic violence cases, a lot of people are embarrassed. And maybe I'm off on a tangent. I just brought this up. They're embarrassed is the main reason why they isolate, because they're like, I can't believe I let this happen to me. And these are people who, walk around life and they probably had a lot of pride about themselves sometimes. They probably judge people who've been through that situation, and they never thought they would find themselves in that situation. Yeah, but the thing that kept them to themselves and not sharing it with everybody else because of the embarrassment, because they felt so alone and they thought no one would understand. And that's kind of like the same thing when someone's dealing with pain and you're not being there and you're not being supportive. Regardless if you understand, regardless if you think they should feel that way or not, you're two different people. So we have to be more understanding in that. Like, you can push somebody away, man. It's somebody that probably needs you right now. But a comment you made, made them stay far away from you. Someone who just, needs you right now. And just the way you look at the situation and the way you speak about it and the way you look at them, they'd rather be to themselves. Because even speaking with you, when you make those comments, it makes them feel worse. You don't think they already beat themselves up if it's one of those situations? You don't think they've already tried to move on? You don't think every single day they don't feel the grief? Say someone lost a family member or a child or something like that, and then they can barely get up. They can barely make themselves eat. And you got someone like, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since your mother died. You got to get up. You got to do this or whatever. We have to be more supportive. You don't know that person's state of mind. There's no time limit on this stuff. There's no time limit on this stuff. You have to take it one day at a time to move out of it. And then you don't know people's connection with people. You don't know the type of love they had. You can have someone judging someone's relationship with their mother and how they should feel. Like, this is an example about their mother passing on. This person never had a relationship with their mother. They felt abandoned by their mother. They never knew their mother or whatever. So it's not computing in your brain or understanding why this person feels like they feel. Or when it comes to love and you give your opinion on love and you never had real connection. You never had pure love. So you're judging from what you felt, the connections you had, and you telling this person, oh, you're stupid, you should move on from that. Well, you don't know what went on inside of that. You don't know what happened with that. You don't know what type of soul connection, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, all that. So you don't know what's going on with that. That could be on a level that you've never even felt, and you're judging from your own state of mind, your own level, your own experiences. And we can't do that. So yeah, all you can do is just be supportive. You don't have to have the answers. That one thing you say could be the thing that take a person over the edge. Do you know what it probably takes for that person? They can appear to be strong to get up every day. Do you know what happens to that person's brain thought process while they're falling asleep? Racing thoughts. It's hard to fall asleep. They sleep a couple hours. They can't sleep. Whatever's replaying in their mind over and over. They have to pray to God. They're crying at night. They're on their knees. You don't know this entire battle these people are having with themselves, and only God are helping them out. And they get themselves together. Just imagine that. I'm going through it. It's painful. I gather myself. I tell myself I have to keep going on. I have to keep pushing. I got this, God. Be my strength. All this stuff. They keep it moving because you don't know this. They're at home. You just know what you see. The mask they probably wear to, not show that side because they don't want people to either feel sorry for them or look at them a certain way. They're remaining that strong figure that you're used to. So they went through all this stuff behind closed doors. They're crying in the shower. Think about it daily, day in, day out. So they get themselves to this state of mind. and they feeling okay, just enough to move on. They talk themselves to the shower, out of the door, on to their daily life, and then they come to you. They speak with you. Maybe you ask how they're doing or whatever, and they do, I'm okay a little bit. You push the issue a little bit, they start talking about it, and after all that, you tell the person, oh, you shouldn't be feeling like that. You still feel like that? Why? That's crazy. Imagine that person, what they've been through to get to this state to even push on. And those few words you said has the power to just make them backpedal all the way back. Now they're back in those thoughts. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe I'm not worthy. You never know what you're doing. You never know. So we got to always speak life into each other. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. All right? Even if you don't put yourself in someone else's shoes, just be understanding. Just be understanding that you don't know everything, you haven't experienced everything, and you're looking at things from your point of view, from your perception of life and your perception of pain, your perception of things that you've been through. All right, so we have to be mindful of that, man. Just think of how many people are destroyed every day. I've had a situation before when I was feeling some type of way. And I went to work when I was working for someone. I got to put that in there. Went to work, gathered myself, went there, had one person say something to me. And they didn't know, it was an insecurity and something I was dealing with and something that I just wasn't happy with. And they made us joke about it, and they were laughing and make a big scene about it, whatever. They didn't know that was a soft spot. They didn't know that was something that, that I had to push myself on to even get past or whatever. They didn't know that. And I tell you, that made me spiral for like 3 days just thinking about it, replaying in my head over and over and over. After I had took a lot of time to build myself up to get to that point where I was moving on. And that was my test right there to let me know, I wasn't good. I thought I was good with the situation, but that showed me. But you never know, man. You don't want to push someone over the edge, especially when it comes to something like pain. You don't want to do it, man. I mean, that's that's thin ice right there. So you got to be mindful. You got to be respectful. And remember to think about that time when you felt like that. You felt like no one understood. You felt like you were all alone. And it was just soul shattering. Like the worst pain you ever felt. Think about that pain right now. I don't care if it was your first crush when you were a kid, and I don't want to say a bad situation happened when someone passed or whatever. We all been through that or whatever. Just think about the worst pain you ever felt. And when you see that person and you don't understand why they're feeling their pain for that situation because you don't think it's worthy of the attention that they're giving it, think about that. That's probably what they're feeling. Probably what they're feeling. They can't articulate what it is. They can't articulate what they're going through. They don't even have to. People don't always have to explain to you, what they're going through. You just got to be compassionate, man. We got to show love and respect for each other, and it'll be a much better world. Yeah, people don't owe you an explanation, but when they actually take the time and trust in you to give you the story or give you what they feel or put that into you, and then you open your mouth and say something like that, why? Man, you should move on. Oh, my God. It's been 6 years. I seen that one time on the show. A guy was like, the woman was still crying over her mother. Man, it's been 6 years. You not past that? But he had so much trauma. He never had family. He never had relationships like that with any loved ones or anything, so he didn't understand. And, that drove her further and further into the depths of despair. And, without knowing, we're doing that to each other. We're doing that. So sometimes we have to stop and pause and think. Think of your neighbor, your brother, your mother, your loved one, your family member, your friend, or whatever. Sometimes we have to pause and think. I know we live in our own movie, but the world is not always about us. So think about that. You never know when you're pushing someone over the edge. You never tell somebody how to feel anything. Specifically here, we're talking about pain. You don't tell anyone how to feel their pain. You don't tell people what level of pain they should be feeling and what's worth it. Like, you don't know. You don't know the depths of where they are and what it took to get them to the point that, even right there, they could have been lower than that just to get them to that point, man. Just to step out every day. You ever had that feeling when you feel like you don't even want to move? You're just on the couch or whatever, and you have to push yourself on. If you haven't, good for you. But, you have those days, those low moments where you're questioning everything. So, you don't know. So we're going to be mindful of that, man. We're going to show love to each other. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be compassionate. The best thing you can do is listen. Give that person that ear. Give them that support. Or whatever, let them know you're there, and let them grieve and do what they need to do for themselves. All right? I said I wasn't keeping us that long this time, man. I think I did 15 minutes on here. I did good, but that was on my spirit. It touched me one day. God told me to get on here and share that. But yeah, we have to do that, man. Don't tell anyone how to feel. That's the wrong battle right there. You're going to push somebody further and further and further away from you. You know, the best thing you can do to help them heal is just to let them know you're there and you're non-judgmental. Because, yeah, that's what we all need, man. We need space. Space to just be us. And the world will be okay with that. All right? Thank you guys for tuning in. You already know what to do. Hit at Strok'd, STROK'D underscore the podcast. I'm sorry, at Strok'd, STROK'D underscore the podcast. That's the social media handle. Make sure you follow, and you subscribe. Tell your people about the podcast, man. It's getting out there a little more and more. Every time somebody listens to it, they're like, oh, my God. Wow. If people really knew the stuff you were talking about, right here in your ear for free. Free game. Right here, man. Right here. And maybe this will even push someone who needs therapy to go ahead and go the full route. But just in case, just put it right here in your living room or right here in your headset or whatever. I'm trying to, give us access to it. All right? But, of course, you know what just happened to you. You just got stroked up. Bye.